nothing better to do.
This is a good thing.
Yeah. Coach, wanted to ask about Khaman. It looks like he's put on some bulk there. What have you seen from him as far as his body development since he's got what you got?
I think that's the plan day one. You know, anytime you get a 19-year-old young guy to come in the league, the biggest piece is usually the strength. It's not the skill, and obviously it's not his size. He has both of those. It's just a strength piece, just for him to function in the NBA, and also for his health, and to try to prevent those big collisions that he's going to have. So he's attacked it day one. It's in here multiple times a day. Set a great foundation of his professional habits, which we've been on, and he's done a great job. You can see it obviously with his body.
What have you noticed the added muscle weight as when he played? What can you see it the most? Like, okay, that's a function of him being bigger and stronger.
I think you look at the young bigs and how they run, like their gait and how they run, and then because a lot of times you're going to get into the lane or around the rim, and there's going to be other bodies. So how do you maneuver with them before contact or after contact? So I think some of that, just how he's running, how he's carrying himself. There'll be a conditioning piece to all this, based on how fast the game is playing and how fast we want to play. So those are the key parts that he's now attacking. I think those first couple of months when he comes in the summer, it's weight gain, strength gain. Now there's a conditioning piece that he has to get after every day.
So when I see him running after practice, part of that, right?
Yeah, that's all a plan too. It's there's a build up to everyone's season to opening night to be ready to play as many minutes as we need. So if you don't happen to get into some of these scrimmages as much, like, we still need you to get to your spot of what today's supposed to be. Yesterday was a no practice day. Today's a higher day. You still got to get there even if you don't get all the reps.
What stood out to you so far about Koby?
The shooting piece is real. I mean, every day, felt it in summer league, feel it every day here. He has great confidence about him. He knows he can shoot it. I think he knows it. He knows he can shoot it at this level. He has good size. I think one of the things he can really pass. I think that's something that we didn't quite anticipate. I think you saw it a little bit in the summer league. You see it show up at times when people run him off the line. He's got to put it on the ground to get inside the paint. And his thing is going to be, can he rebound at the NBA level on the defensive end, and can he guard his position? We know he's already a really good shooter, and the NBA skill of shooting is the one we need. He has it. It's going to be on the other end. He knows it. He's going to have to compete every day to learn and grow in that area.
Book was saying at Media Day, Jordan, with such a young team, he needs to use his voice more. Have you seen that over these first 4 or 5 days of camp?
Yeah, I think Book has probably always used his voice. When you're that good of a player, you always have the ability to speak in front of the team, and when you speak, everyone listens. From day one here, he's been great around the guys. He's not just talking to talk; he's talking when he has points that he really wants to emphasize, and that's very important to us. That's who he is. He's a thoughtful, high character person that when he speaks, everyone listens for a reason, because he's very, very on point with what he says.
When you look at Koby, when you look at him working off the ball specifically, does his route running and ability to kind of get into those dynamic touches stand out to you at all?
Yeah, just watch Book. I mean, he's got a great person to model his NBA skill set after. I think that piece of the NBA offense is kind of dying out. There's not as many guys that can shoot off the move or off screens as there were 5 or 10 years ago. So he can do it. He can do it off the move. Now we need to add it off the dribble, add something to a closeout game. So, but definitely off of screens, catch and shoot, he definitely has that.
When you look at your offense in the half court, it feels like a trend with the NBA is doing a lot of teams going towards like that single side and pick and roll. With your offense, does it matter for that because of how much movement is happening as primary action takes place?
Yeah, we never want to compromise pace into an action with someone filling that corner to balance out the offense. So if we flow into our offense and that corner is not filled, we have actions with that corner empty. So whatever if there's a person in the corner, if there's not, we'll have reads and situations that we can quickly get to. But yeah, the empty side pick and roll is hard to guard. Definitely hard to guard.
And then to the pace point in the half court, how do you create that? Because teams don't want to just concede that to you. So how do you kind of go about creating that in the half court, being one to play so up tempo?
I think you just, do you have an advantage? Do you not? Cross half court, do you have an advantage? Do you not? Once you don't have an advantage, now you got to get one. So where are your chess pieces at the time when you're in neutral and you don't have an advantage? Where's your five? Because that's usually the next domino that gets played. If he's already down the floor in the dunker, it's probably quicker to get something else. That way you can get the next advantage into the possession. And then also the confidence to, if anyone's open, shoot it. And there might not be a better opportunity later in the possession, so everyone knows if you get to your spot, if you're open, go ahead. We have the full faith to let it go. And once that thing gets up on the glass, we'll have a solution for that too. So.
Coach, when you look at just what you guys were able to do today, coming off an off day, what do you feel like you guys accomplished today?
Yeah, those are tricky days, after your first off day, Sunday, football, Mercury game. I think there's a lot that goes on Sundays, especially in the fall. But our guys had great intent, great purpose to come in here and get something done. I think the competitiveness of our group, like when you start to play against each other, that picks up the energy of the practice. Live play today against each other. Tomorrow won't be as much. Wednesday will be more of player on player playing, and then Thursday, the day before the game, there probably won't be as much. So they know exactly up front what these play days entail. We try to give them as much heads up as we can for the week and the next week, so they know when they walk in the building that this is a high day. We have to get after it.
Who jumped off the board, like in the scrimmages? Who that maybe you hadn't seen before, or hadn't seen a lot of them? I know you probably seen most of these guys coaching against them, but who's jumped off the board? What players have jumped off the board for you?
Those are hard, Dwayne. We're so early in the season. I think some guys have been here for a while. Some of those younger guys know kind of more of the system than the others. I think that helps them right now. I think you have some veteran players that know how to get themselves ready by October 22nd. So, but it doesn't matter where you're at when the ball's jumped up and it gets super competitive. That's when it really gets going. So I think overall that competitiveness is that's the big rock. That's the big bucket that we're talking about each day. Once we get that level of competitiveness, physicality, everything else we'll refine. We'll dive into a little bit after that. The first piece is we got to get after it, which we have.
What kind of things have you seen from Rashir going through his first training camp? What things have stood out to you from him?
Size, wingspan, athleticism, great human, great professional, really cares, wants to be really good, just an overall high character young guy that, you can tell without knowing his career path from high school to college to how he popped late in his career, you can feel it. Like he is a really good basketball player. He's an NBA player. It has just come along for him. It wasn't like at a younger age he was that. He has worked to get to this spot, and now we have to reinforce he is a really good player, and he has a long career ahead of him because of his habits, because of who he is. The skills will follow. So he's in a good place. We have to give him confidence, knowing, hey, Rashir, you're really good, and we're really excited about you, because he still has that, mentality of where am I at? Am I really in the NBA? Some of that stuff we got to give him confidence to know, hey, you're a good player, and we're thankful that you're here.
Has some of that shown up in the last few days of practice?
Yeah, I don't know who prepped you with this, but yeah, he had a really good day today. So someone must have brought it up, but yeah, he had a really good day today.
Speaking of the Mercury, no coincidence that you're sporting some Mercury gear. Just talk about, being associated with them organizationally, but some interesting parallels too, like completely new team for the most part. It's kind of what you guys are setting out to here. Just talk about their success, and I don't even, you brought it up with the guys, or if it doesn't even need to be spoken.
Yeah, we definitely the guys care. You know, the guys. It's really cool to see them follow, them care about the Mercury. Actually, again, was talking to Nate this morning, and he wanted to relay how important it was for his group that our players show up for them. And I'm speaking to our team about it as we started the day in our film session. You could see the guys bobbing their head like they're really behind them. Obviously, it's a really good season. Their success creates our energy, and you can see the fans show up for them. Our guys go to the games and see the fans show up for them. So that stuff is really cool. And I think how they play is they form their own identity, even with all the roster flux, how aggressive, physical, gritty, tough their team is because their best player plays that way. She plays a style of play that, you know, every coach would love to coach. She's downhill, in the paint, making the right plays super hard, physical, and everyone else rallies around her. So I think our guys have really enjoy being a part of some of those atmospheres.
Does a player like Rashir having a motor, like, do you look at that as a skill? Because it feels like that's not something that everybody has, and it's a choice to have it and lean into it for productive ways.
Yeah, totally. I think playing hard is now a skill. I think before it was just taken for granted. They're probably in the NBA even before I was around, and then for a while, you know, the outside thought, oh, you know, you can't play hard every night. The way this game is played right now, you have to play hard just because of how fast and how many times you got to change ends, how athletic these players are. Playing hard is a skill, and not everyone has that for 82 games. If you can do it more often than the other team, it gives yourself a really good chance, even when the shots aren't falling.
Thanks, Coach.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you all.